What you have concealed from the clever and the learned, you reveal to the merest of children. Today as we come and we ask for the intercession of St. Padre Pio, the virtue of humility just pops out about his life. There's so many other virtues with that, but the virtue of humility and just what Jesus is saying that what he conceals from the clever and the learned, he reveals to the merest of children, the most humble of children. I'll share with you a story when I first entered the seminary. We had probably a little off theologian teaching us one day. And some of the things, now I didn't have any great education in theology at the point, this was my first semester. And it was really off on the way he was teaching. Like he said, if you found the bones of Christ, that shouldn't rattle your faith. And I'm saying to myself, if I found the bones of Christ, I'm leaving right now, because that's the core of what we believe. He rose from the dead. But anyway, you had to put up with that, But I would go home to my home parish at St. Anne's in Keensburg, and there was a cook there, older Italian lady named Marie. And she was the most loving, humble person you could meet. Not a great educated person. But every time she would greet you, she would say, "Jesus loves you." She would just embrace humility and just share the love of Jesus with no great theology. Again, the clever and the learned now not there. But Jesus revealed himself to her as a mere child. And I dare say that, that theologian who was confusing people in the seminary didn't have the impact on people as Marie did. Marie was able to just share humbly, the love of Jesus Christ, just by her embrace and then calling me up at the seminary, "What you want for dinner tonight?" I used to love that. Well, anyway, here we are with Padre Pio, who really is just one of those humble servants who really embraced the passion of Jesus in such a humble way that he was blessed, and I dare say blessed, even though it caused him a lot of grief and skepticism about him with the stigmata, the wounds of Jesus. Imagine how much Jesus loved Padre Pio to allow him to have the same wounds as he did. It began in I guess 1918, I believe, and it miraculously healed when he died in 1968. But it caused him great pain and caused him great suffering. But his suffering drew him even closer and closer to Christ. And there's two things we can do with suffering. If we're worried about just ourselves with pride, not humility, then my complaining becomes belly aching and there's no grace in it. But if I'm humble, like Padre Pio, and embrace the suffering we have, it's called redemptive suffering. And our suffering unites us more with Jesus. It's like I was saying the other day when Jesus said to his would-be disciples, "If you wish to come after me, pick up your cross and follow me." Well, that's suffering. You pick up your cross. He is known for his extraordinary holiness and the ability to pray in long hours and also to sit in the confessional for many, many hours, almost like St. John Vianney. And my brothers and sisters, this call to holiness is universal. It's just not, Padre Pio was a priest. That's why he was able to do this. This universal call to holiness is to be able to respond to God's grace, that every single one of us can obtain that same level of holiness. Does that make sense to you? Because this is so key. It's just we're looking at all these holy saints and this week, and we can be that holy because Jesus makes us holy. As long as we respond to his grace. The miracles that he has, physical healings. Just walking up here, Patrick told me that his mother's sister was cured by Padre Pio. So we have a descendant of a miracle right among us. And so that's pretty amazing. Miracles are still happening. And, what is our faith with that? If we're humble, we will believe. a great devotion to the Eucharist, to our Blessed Mother. Again, all of us should have this great devotion to the Eucharist. That's why we're on a pilgrimage. We want to go deeper. We want to go more into this communion with the Lord and with his Blessed Mother. So Padre Pio, I can't even do him justice in this homily because there's so much that he did. But I will say there's one thing that all of us need to heighten our awareness to, is that he's a great intercessor for spiritual warfare. What do I mean by spiritual warfare? Well, I don't want to frighten you, but why not, you know? But there's not a moment of the day where the devil doesn't work to destroy your life, that you're in hell with him forever. That's truth. And yet we can just start going through life and not even recognizing that the devil's after us. We'll blame him for things like wars and everything, but he will not rest until you're in hell with him. St. Padre Pio, he's a great intercessor for spiritual warfare. And so while we can't pray all day, we can ask for his intercession to fight the arrows of the evil one, to destroy the attacks on us, for his intercession. And so he's a powerful person to embrace if we're looking to really do battle in the spiritual life. And so today we come to this Holy Mass. We're seeking to encounter Jesus in a deep, holy way today. And we're asking for the intercession of Padre Pio. God bless you.